What's up, everybody? Today I want to play around with the Kornfield amp model in the Atomic Amplifier. This amp model is based around a Kornfield amplifier, which is a pretty delicious, crunchy rock amp. So I've got my Les Paul Standard with some Martin A. Smith PAF style pickups in it. The switch is upside down, so I am on the bridge pickup at the moment. I don't have an amp or a cab selected, and this is the DI sound. So super inspiring right there. Let's do this to set up. We're going to start with the Kornfield model. I'll pop that straight in, and then we need to select a cab. I'm running direct here. What I'm going to do is, rather than use the matched cab, which doesn't sound bad, it actually sounds like this at the stock settings. I'm going to use an IR that I made. This IR is available in WAV format for free. I will put a link in the video description so that you guys can grab this. It's based around my Marshall cab with 25 watt greenbacks. It's called LT TV Mix. It sounds like this at the stock settings with the Kornfield amp. Kind of sounds like rock and roll. There's maybe one or two things I would do to this immediately. The first thing I'm going to do is set the roll off to about 10K. I like it about 10K with this particular amplifier. It just cleans up a bit of the fizz. Sounds like this. Very, very nice. Then what I like to do with everything in the amplifier, I always use parametric EQ block number 1. I set it to be a, what's it going to be? It's going to be a high pass filter. That's what I want. So high pass, low cut. That's how I remember that. And I'm going to set this to 0.1 kilohertz. So 100 hertz, meaning it's going to cut everything below 100 hertz. It sounds like this now. So I love this amp model for that kind of crunchy AC/DC 70s thing going on there. And I don't really mess with the EQ on this model that much. I just kind of like it as is. All I would do is, if I was playing a Strat, I would probably turn the treble down and the bass and mids up a little bit. But it sounds pretty good with this particular guitar. If I was using hotter pickups, I might turn the gain down. If we turn the gain up on this model, because of course we've got to turn the gain up, let's have a listen. So I actually kind of liked it a little bit closer to the stock values, somewhere, where is it, around 5 or 6. Beautiful. What I like to do with just about everything in the amplifier is add a little bit of a room reverb. So let's activate the reverb block. We'll select the type as, let's just go for medium. I think this is like a medium room. Then what we're going to do is we'll set the decay. I'll bring that down to about 20%, and I'll bring the level down to about -9. So it's kind of barely there. I would bring it down even more than that, and I'm actually going to turn the pre-delay right down as well. So let's take it to, say, -16. That's a bit more like it. I like that. I'll turn it up a bit more. So it's like barely there, but it's taking out some of that kind of directness from the tone, which, if you're playing with a full range system, can be really nice. Again, seasoned to taste with the reverb here. Right, let's keep going. I would love to have the option to have a boost available, and we could either use a boost block. There is the Tube Screamer, there is the Overdrive, Distortion, Fuzz, or a clean boost. The Tube Screamer sounds great, but I'm going to go with the Overdrive, and I'm going to turn the drive all the way down and the level all the way up. It gives me this. again, it just kind of works with this guitar really, really nicely. Another way to add a bit of a boost is to take, where is this guy, this pre-EQ. And what we're going to do, we'll turn that on. I am going to set the frequency. I'm actually just going to leave it where it is at 1K. So we're going to give it a big mid boost in that 1K kind of region. So I'm going to set the level there to be 9 dB. Let's try that. And I'm going to turn the low cut down to about 100. So it is going to shave off a bit of low end going into the amp. This is kind of like an 80s style pre-boost. We get this. And combining it with that overdrive block is really, really nice as well. I always like the option to have a phaser in here as well. So that's not the phaser, that's the pitch shift block. The phaser is right here. Let's just turn it on. I like setting the number of stages to about 4, and I turn the depth right down because I want it kind of barely there. The speed at 0.5 hertz I quite like, actually. And again, you can turn the level up in that block to give you a different type of boost, which is really quite nice. Sloppy as, but you get the vibe there. The last thing I always add with the amplifier is, well, actually 2 more things. I like using a graphic EQ as a post-amp kind of boost. So what I would do is pick, again, one of these mid-range bands, maybe 1.2K, bump that, say, by 2 dB, and bump the overall level quite subtly by maybe 1 dB. And this is going to give me a lift for solos. And then I've got all those boost options up front as well. I can use the pre-boost. Or the phaser as well to add a bit of color. You could use a compressor as a boost as well. That's really fun. The last thing, of course, is some delay. Let's do this. I'm going to go with just a standard digital mode, but then I like to go in and set the high cut really low. So I'll turn that down to like 3K or something like that. Go extreme with the high cut. And the low cut, maybe about 200 hertz, so it's not muddying up the low end. Pretty good, maybe a bit too much feedback there. I'll bring the time down to about 320 milliseconds because I always like that. And I'll bring the level up just a little bit. You can add a bit of ducking in the delay block here as well, which is kind of cool. But for this type of tone, I just like it straight up. So straight up, this is just basically the amp and cab, a little bit of room reverb, a little bit of high cut, a little bit of low cut. Feels really good. Then we've got a couple of different boost options, a pre-EQ, or we've got a boost. I think I like the pre-EQ a little bit more than the boost there, or I'm using a phaser as a boost. Or you can use all of them together. Then we've got a graphic EQ as an overall level boost, and then we have a bit of delay. If I turn all of these boosts on, this should be dripping, perfect for solos. And then a really nice responsive crunch when I turn it all off. I realized I didn't turn the graphic EQ on there. I'm going to save this preset really quickly. What should I call it? I don't know. What's a good name for a preset? I'll think of that later. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you'll learn something. And if you replicate all of this, just fine-tune the EQ on the app for your particular... Oh, a mosquito. For your particular guitar and your particular playing situation. This is getting wild. It's really, really hot here at the moment. I don't want to contract like malaria or something. So I'm going to go try this on your amplifier. The IRs will be available in the video description. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.